And we're live. We're live. It's week 11. And this is the part of the year where. Hold on. This is the part of the year where. Sorry, my TikTok live got screwed up here. Hold on. We're going. Technical difficulties. So this is the part of the year where. Hold on. Let me just get this straightened out and we'll get it going. Technical difficulties. Here we go. All right, we're good. Try this again. It's still fucked up. Whatever. This is the part of the year where we shift our mindset for fantasy football from trying to make the playoffs, trying to get to the playoffs. Now we're starting to gear our teams up to make a championship run. It's not about making the playoffs anymore. We've put ourselves in position in most cases. Obviously there are some teams that are still battling to try to just get into the playoffs, and you're going to continue to do that. But for the teams that are 6-4, 7-3, or better, we have our eyes on the championship. We are gearing our team to win in week 15, in week 16, in week 17, and take home a title. So by doing that, in order to do that, we are releasing our backup wide receivers, like these guys who you're never playing, right? These guys who are so replaceable on the waiver wire. They're off our roster. And we are stashing handcuff running backs. The guys who, if the guy in front of them goes down, could be a potential starter in your lineup. And that there's this big race to the waiver wire to pick them up if that happens. So this point, and you should have started this process several weeks ago if you're a contender, right? But we're going to do start-sit questions today, obviously. I'm going to go all the way up to kickoff, so get those in here. We already have a few rolling in on TikTok. Now, if you want to guarantee that I'm going to answer your questions, come over to the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel. We get far less questions on YouTube, so it's easier for me to see them, and I guarantee that I will answer your question if you come over to Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search Yards Per Fantasy. Link is also in the TikTok bio. I get a lot of questions every week. Like, do I start this running back against this defensive matchup? Do I start this wide receiver against this defensive matchup? And yes, defensive matchup is definitely a factor when making start-sit lineup decisions. Of course it is. But for me, it's one of the lowest factors. I'm more interested in a player's talent. I'm more interested in the player's situation, their offensive environment. Are they in a good offense? Are they in a bad offense? What is their role in that offense? And I'm also factoring in the opposing team's offense more than I'm factoring in the opponent. I still say opponent. What the hell? The opponent's defense. Because listen, if we have a wide receiver or a quarterback who's going against a team that has, let's say, for example, this week, we have Sam Howell, we have some Commanders, right? Sam Howell has been really playing well. He's a QB1 on the season. But a big part of that is because their defense sucks. Their secondary is so susceptible to the pass. They're giving up so many points. Which means that the Commanders are going to drop back and pass a million times. They're playing in comeback mode. They got to score points. That's why Sam Howell has had such a great year for fantasy football. Well, when you're playing Tommy DeVito and the Giants, an offense that cannot get to 20 points. That team cannot get to 20 points. Then what is the incentive to drop Sam Howell back 40 times a game, right? So I'm concerned about Sam Howell this week. I'm concerned about Terry McLaurin, John Dotson, who doesn't do anything anyway, as long as Curtis Samuel's on the field. Concerned about Curtis Samuel. We're concerned about Logan Thomas. But we are playing Brian Robinson. Because in that game, instead of passing the ball 40 times, they are going to turn around and hand the ball off to Brian Robinson, who is in that backfield by himself with Antonio Gibson out. This is going to be a big Brian Robinson week. It's going to be a down week for Sam Howell in the passing game. Now, we can also talk about Kyler Murray going against the Texans. It's the opposite effect. The Texans offense is a really good offense. They can create a shootout game environment. So we want to play all of our Cardinals today. We want to play Kyler Murray. We want to play Trey McBride, Marquise Brown, James Conner, because that game could turn into a shootout. They're going to have to keep up with CJ Stroud in the Texans offense. Black rant is over. We're going to get to your questions. We're going to get ready for week 11. We only got 31 minutes till kickoff. Let's get to this question here. It's a trade question. I get Stephon Diggs and Isaiah Pacheco, plus a 24 seconds. So this is a dynasty question. We're going to take it really quickly on trade questions here because everybody's trying to sit their lineups. We're going to do start sits mainly. Should I trade away Tank Dell, Sam Laporta, Brian Robinson? I'm 7-3 and Kmet as my backup. If you're giving up Tank Dell, Laporta, Brian Robinson, you're getting Diggs, Pacheco, and a second round pick. Yeah, I would do that. If you're trying to make a run at a title, go do it. All right, let's get this one from Big Dog. Would you start Christian Kirk or Jalen Waddle at wide receiver 2? I got Hill as my wide receiver 1. Starting Ford in the flex. So I'm going to pull up the wide receiver rankings. These guys are really close for me. Christian Kirk is about as consistent as it gets, really. And Jalen Waddle has been about as inconsistent as it gets. But I do like Waddle going against the Raiders. Christian Kirk is going against the pass funnel Titans, so I definitely like Christian Kirk a lot this week as well. I think they're both, low-end wide receiver 1s, high-end wide receiver 2s this week. I think we're going to go Jalen Waddle. But I do like Christian Kirk a lot. If you can get him into your lineup, I'm definitely playing him. Do I start Jerome Ford? It depends on your opponent. This is your first time asking to start the question. I mean, who are your other options? In general, he's a low-end RB2. Let me tell you where I have him ranked real quick here. Probably right around 24-ish. You can find my rankings at yardsperfantasy.com. RB21. So he's a back-end RB2. He's a fine start. Should I trade Calvin Ridley and James Cook for Puka Nacua? Yes. Raheem Mostert or James Conner? Ooh, yes. Can we just play them both? I like James Conner a lot this week. We just kind of touched on that with how much we want the Cardinals today. We want to play all our Cardinals. So I have James Conner ranked as my RB11 and Raheem Mostert ranked as my RB13. So obviously he's getting Devon Achane back in the lineup, but Raiders at home makes me want to play Raheem Mostert. However, if I have an option like James Conner, I am going to play James Conner. All right, Hunter, who should I pick up with Joe Burrow out? Again, I have no idea who's available on your waiver wire, man. Come on now. We're not gonna waste our time on these questions here. Darrell Henderson or Trey McBride at the flex. We're definitely gonna play Trey McBride. We've just been talking about we want to play our Cardinals against the Texans. Play Trey McBride. He's had elite target share over the last month with 3 different quarterbacks. 3 different quarterbacks are laser focused in on Trey McBride. We want to play Trey McBride. Let's do that. He could find the end zone today. PPR flex James Conner or Calvin Ridley. Easy. We're going to go James Conner. I like James Conner a lot this week. I want all the Cardinals. All the Cardinals. Jerome Ford or Isaiah Pacheco. This one's a little bit tough. I am going to go Pacheco here, but obviously difficult matchup going against the Eagles. However, it's still the Chiefs' offense. He can get some goal line carries. He does catch a few passes more than he has in the past, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable going against going against the Eagles. So I'm going to go by Pacheco there. Get this one from Caleb. Brandon Ayuk or Puka Nacua? I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk. CJ Stroud or Justin Fields? This one I'm definitely going CJ Stroud. It's great to have Justin Fields back. And I think he's got a matchup that is going to allow him to have a good game today, make him startable. They're going to have to score a lot of points, keep up with the Lions. But CJ Stroud also has a good matchup. Going against a pretty quality Cardinals offense now that Kyler Murray's back. Yeah, I expect CJ Stroud to keep on plugging away, keep on playing like an elite quarterback. He's breaking himself into the elite tier. So we're going to play CJ Stroud. He's pretty much a must start at this point every single week until further notice. Patrick, 10-man PPR. Another trade question here, man. We're going to just, like I said, we're going to go really quickly through the trade questions because we're going to focus more on start-sit questions here. We can do trade questions at a different time. Should I trade Josh Downs, Calvin Ridley, James Cook, Charbonnet for DJ Moore and Devontae Adams? Yeah, I mean you're getting the better two players for sure, definitely. You're giving up, a handcuff running back in Charbonnet. Cook is fine. Ridley's a bust. I do like Josh Downs, but I'd rather have DJ Moore and Devontae Adams. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course. What are we talking about here? All right. Get this one from Nick. Should I start Darrell Henderson or Trey McBride? Didn't we just answer this one from somebody else? Somebody else had the same question. So yeah, we're going to go Trey McBride. Oh, that's actually a repeat question from Nick. All right. Got this one from Greg. Jerome Ford or James Conner? We're going to go James Conner. I believe we also answered this one earlier. Maybe it was different. But yeah, we're going to go James Conner here for sure. Like James Conner a lot today. Going against the Texans. Should be a lot of points scored in that game. Should get more opportunities in the passing game from James Conner. He had no targets, no receptions last week. I expect that will change. So yeah, we're going to go James Conner there. Dalton Kincaid or Trey McBride rest of season. Ooh, tough one from Andrew. I love Trey McBride, but I think we gotta go Dalton Kincaid there, right? We gotta go Dalton Kincaid. But I think they're both locked in top 7 tight ends rest of season. So can't go wrong with either one. We'll give the slight edge to Dalton Kincaid. Big dog, should I start Christian Kirk over Jerome Ford at the flex? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely start Christian Kirk over Jerome Ford. I would. Yep. I think we could get a good game today from Christian Kirk. Andrew's asking if I have Sam Laporta and Trey McBride, should I trade Sam Laporta for Puka Nacua? I only have CeeDee Lamb and Olave at wide receiver. I would definitely be trying to get a wide receiver if you can trade one of these 2 tight ends, definitely. But I think we can aim a little bit higher. Some teams out there are pretty desperate for tight end. Sam Laporta is an exciting addition to a team. I think you can get more than Puka Nacua. I think you can. But yeah, I think right mindset here, go get a wide receiver for one of those tight ends. Greg, Dallas defense or Cleveland defense? Or don't usually answer defense questions on here, so take my answer with a grain of salt. Because I don't play in any leagues that have defenses, and I don't rank defenses. We got the Browns going against the Steelers. We got the Cowboys going against the Panthers. I mean, take your pick, man. Take your pick. Both teams, both opposing offenses are very susceptible to turn the ball over, to getting sacked. But I think we'll go Dallas. I think we'll go Dallas. I think Bryce Young is probably a little bit more susceptible. Although the Browns are playing at home versus the Steelers, where the Cowboys are going on the road. So maybe we give the slight edge to the Browns. Honestly, I'm really not your guy to answer defense questions. Flip a coin. I'm happy with both, though. They're both great plays. All right. Jessica, PPR, Raheem Mostert, Devin Singletary, Kenneth Walker. We're benching one of these guys. Ooh, man, do we have to? Man. I think we might have to bench Kenneth Walker here. Which, I don't know, because I actually believe I have him ranked higher than Devin Singletary, but this is making me want to make that change. I feel more comfortable with Devin Singletary. Now, of course, Kenneth Walker is far more talented, which is what makes this difficult. But the offense is a lot better for Devin Singletary right now. Kenneth Walker has been outsnapped by Zach Charbonnet in 3 straight games, which once you get to 3 straight games, it's not a trend anymore. It's a fact. It's a thing that is just happening. Man, it's hard to bench Kenneth Walker and start Singletary over him because the talent difference between those two guys is it's like night and day. Kenneth Walker is far more talented, but the offense is really good right now for Devin Singletary. And he ran for 150 yards last week. Let's go Devin Singletary. We'll sit Kenneth Walker. I do like Raheem Mostert going against the Raiders at home, even with the return of Devon Achane. I'm so confident that Raheem Mostert is going to give you an RB2 productive week. Yeah, we'll sit Kenneth Walker there, but that's a tough one. Good question. This one from Andrew, DeAndre Swift against, I don't think he's playing himself. He's playing the Chiefs. Or Tony Pollard against the Panthers. We're going to go Swift. If Tony Pollard didn't happen last week against the Giants, he's not going to happen. And I know everybody's saying this week, like, this is the week, this is the make or break week for Tony Pollard. If he doesn't hit this week, it's over. No, here's the deal. It was over last week. Last week was the make or break week for Tony Pollard. He didn't hit. He failed against the Giants in a perfect game environment for a guy to go off in the run game. Didn't happen. We're going to play DeAndre Swift against the Chiefs. Let's keep these questions coming. If you're on TikTok, come on over to the Yards Per Fantasy YouTube channel, Yards Per Fantasy on YouTube. Just find the link in the TikTok bio. I guarantee I'll answer your questions over here on YouTube. Come on over. All right, this one's from Jose. I traded Jake Ferguson for Nico Collins. Okay. I'm good with that. I have Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow's injury worries me, so I added some wide receiver depth. I also have George Kittle already at tight end. Yeah, I like that deal. I mean, Jake Ferguson's been good. He's been good, but Nico Collins with CJ Stroud, yeah, I think that's a pretty fair deal. I think both teams are probably happy with that. You know, if you needed a wide receiver, you had some tight end depth to work with, trade Jake Ferguson for Nico Collins, and the guy you traded with probably needed a tight end, had some wide receiver depth. He got Jake Ferguson. It's a win-win. Great deal. Those are the best types of trades where both teams can benefit. And it's not, lopsided one way or another. It's a good deal. Jessica Ingram or Freiermuth. Yeah, we're gonna go Evan Ingram here. I can't trust any Steeler right now, especially Freiermuth coming off the injury. He hasn't played basically all year. He played a little bit early in the year, but even then he wasn't performing. I do like Freiermuth, but not this week. And just Kenny Pickett, the Steelers' offense is it's gross, man. It is gross. And then they got the tough Browns defense. Here's a stat. I don't know the exact stat off the top of my head, but I saw this tweeted out last week. I cannot remember who did it. Can't remember who said it. But the Browns have been absolutely dominant against tight ends this year. Mark Andrews, who has played 2 games against the Browns this year, I think it was like week 1 and then week 9 or something, week 10. Mark Andrews has more receiving yards against the Browns, which is only like 80, than all the other tight ends who have played against the Browns combined this season. That's incredible. That just tells you how damn dominant that Browns defense has been, especially against the tight end position. They're locking them down. So Freiermuth coming off an injury, with Kenny Pickett as his quarterback, and a bad offense, going against that defense, I'm not trusting it. Definitely going Evan Ingram. I believe Evan Ingram is first or second in most tight end 1 performances of the season, most top 12 finishes. So he's consistent for you week in, week out. We're going to keep rolling with Evan Ingram. Let's get this one from Kyle. Another defense question. I don't like defense questions. I don't rank defenses. I don't play in any leagues with defenses. So I can't confidently answer them and give you a great take. I'll do my best. Do you like Cleveland or Pittsburgh defense? Yeah, I mean, Cleveland defense is great. Now, I think we would still play the Cleveland defense because I know the Steelers are going against, the bad rookie quarterback, which makes him a great play. Definitely makes him a great play. But we just have a better Browns defense going against an offense that is very susceptible to sacks and turnovers. So I think they're both great plays. If I'm doing it, I'm going to play the Browns. But I very much respect where your head is with wanting to play the Steelers. That's really how you should be thinking about this. So I like that. Honestly, I'm happy with both. You can play either one of them. Again, I don't rank defenses, so I'm not the best person to ask for those types of questions, but that is what I would do. Another one here from Jessica. All right, tough running back question between. Ooh, I can't talk. Tough running back question between Raheem. I still can't talk. What the hell? Between Raheem Mostert, Singletary, and Walker. I could sit one wide receiver. I have Deebo Samuel, Tank Dell, Cooper Kupp, Adam Thielen. Should I start Kenneth Walker and sit one of those wide receivers? Should I start Kenneth Walker over Deebo, Dell, or Kupp, or Thielen? Definitely not starting him over Kupp. I think we're going to keep rolling with Thielen. He's pretty consistent, although not as much as he was early in the season. Tank Dell is on fire. Deebo would be the only one that I would, but we know the ceiling of Deebo. If we decide to start Kenneth Walker over Deebo Samuel, this will be the week the Deebo goes off, right? So I think we're going to keep Walker on the bench. But, I mean, you got a great team here, clearly. Tough decision to put a talented player like Kenneth Walker on the bench. I'm just worried about how much Zach Charbonnet is taking in that backfield right now. And I know Kenneth Walker is still getting a good amount of carries, but it's not at the same rate that he was earlier in the season. And Charbonnet's taking a lot of the valuable touches in the offense, meaning he's getting targets and he's getting red zone opportunities. So losing out even on a 50% of those from what he was getting earlier in the season, that's a big hit to Kenneth Walker. Geno Smith underperforming, underwhelming, is keeping that offense down a little bit, which obviously means less red zone opportunities, less goal line opportunities for a guy like Kenneth Walker. I think he's a fine play. I haven't ranked it like RB20. He's an RB2 this week. Great play. But yeah, I think we'll stick with keeping him on the bench there. Big Dog is 6-4 with 2 fluke losses, so he's in position to get his team ready to make a run at a championship. So good to see that, Big Dog. All right, Jose, Stroud or Herbert? Ooh, Stroud or Herbert? Ooh. Usually start Herbert, but I have a lot of bye weeks, so Nico Collins is at flex. Would be better to stack that or no? I mean, yeah, I love stacking, definitely. And actually, I'd probably, if that's your tiebreaker, that's probably what I would do. Let me see. I have CJ Stroud ranked just ahead of Justin Herbert. Herbert, although with J.R. Alexander out this week, um, not as difficult as a matchup as it would have been if J.R. Alexander was playing for the Packers. But in Green Bay, going against a bad offense in the Packers, so not a lot of incentive for Justin Herbert to drop back and throw the ball a ton. He's got Keenan Allen and nobody else catching passes there other than Austin Eckler out of the backfield. So yeah, I'm going to go CJ Stroud. Definitely. I actually have them ranked. I have Stroud ranked ahead anyway. So getting the stack with Nico Collins is just icing on the cake. Let's get this one from Tommy. Appreciate you, Jose. Let's get this one from Tommy. Start two of these guys: DeAndre Hopkins, Rashee Rice, or Jordan Addison. So we got. I think we're gonna go Jordan Addison for sure. This could be a nice Rashee Rice game. Could be a nice Rashee Rice game on Monday Night Football. Coming off the bye week, sometimes this is where we see rookie wide receivers kind of take the next step. But I think it's got a good matchup. I think we're still going to go DeAndre Hopkins. We're going to still go DeAndre Hopkins there over Rashee Rice, but we're definitely playing Jordan Addison. So let's go Addison. Let's go Hopkins. Devon Achane or Josh Jacobs. Ooh. Can we start them both? Can we start them both, please? But if I had to choose, I think we're going to go Josh Jacobs. He's just locked into that role, right? He's locked in. The offense pretty much is only Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams at this point. The weekly game plan for the Raiders is just force feed the ball to Josh Jacobs in as many ways as we can. And when we do drop back to pass, we're going to laser focus in on Devontae Adams, just hope and pray that a couple of these passes connect down the field, right? So yeah, we're going to go Jacobs over Achane, but Achane's a great play today as well. I would love to start Achane, but we're going to go Jacobs. Full PPR, this one's from Richard. Keep these questions going. We got about 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. If you want to come over from TikTok onto YouTube, I guarantee I'll answer your questions. Just find Yards for Fantasy on YouTube. Let's get this one from Richard. Full PPR. Need a flex. Sam Laporta or Adam Thielen? That's a tough flex question here. Man, Laporta's been so good. Thielen has completely outperformed everyone's projections coming into the season, right? I think we got to go Laporta. We got to go Laporta, right? I mean, just a better offense, better passing game, better quarterback. Like I would rather, if I'm gonna rely on, a quarterback to propel a guy in my lineup to a good week, I'm gonna trust Jared Goff and the Lions over Bryce Young and the Panthers. I just think the floor for an Adam Thielen is much lower than the floor for Sam Laporta. And I actually would argue that Sam Laporta's ceiling is probably higher at this point in that offensive environment than for Adam Thielen. So yeah, we'll play Sam Laporta there on the flex. Hard to bench Thielen, but also hard to bench Sam Laporta. Let's get this one from Mark Anthony. Patrick Mahomes or Josh Dobbs? Let's go Patrick Mahomes. Come on. We're going to go Mahomes. Mahomes, lock him in. Lock him in. Josh Dobbs has been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But Mahomes is Mahomes. We're going to play him every week. Could score a lot of points. Could score a lot of points against the Eagles. Eagles are a little bit susceptible to the pass. They've given up a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers and quarterbacks, despite the fact they have, a pretty decent corner duo there. I think part of it is just because one, their offense is so good, so it's hard to, lean on the run game too much, especially when you have the front seven that the Eagles do, and they're so good against the run. So teams just drop back and drop back, drop back, and they're throwing the ball all game long. And I think we'll see that from the Chiefs as well. And his football garage. Big fan of this guy. Big fan of this guy. Are you starting Najee Harris against Cleveland, or are you going Aaron Jones against the Chargers? Yeah, I'm going Aaron Jones. I'm going Aaron Jones. He's starting to get the role that we were hoping for from him. Now that he's healthy, and the team has realized, like, oh, wait a minute, Jordan Love is pretty bad, man. Jordan Love sucks. So we got to get the ball to Aaron Jones. Christian Watson can't get open, can't connect with Christian Watson. So we need an explosive playmaker in that offense. And at this point, it's just Aaron Jones who can give you that. He's had target shares of 24% and 16% over the last 2 weeks. So he's getting involved pretty heavily in the passing game. He's had a snap share close to 60% back-to-back weeks. So yeah, we're going to roll Aaron Jones there. I just think he gives you a higher ceiling. Najee splitting the backfield hasn't been that, productive. I know he's been better in the second half of the year than he was in the first month, but he's still splitting with Jalen Warren. Bad offense. Tough matchup. Yeah, we're gonna go Aaron Jones. Let's get this next one here. Isaiah Pacheco or Jordan Addison. I'm going to assume this is a PPR league, and we're going to go Jordan Addison. We're going to go Jordan Addison. He's going to get another week as the wide receiver 1 in Minnesota. Josh Dobbs has been playing fantastic. And then Pacheco, a tough matchup. Tough matchup for Isaiah Pacheco. I love Pacheco, but in a game where they're going to be throwing the ball a lot against a really tough run defense against the Eagles, it's going to be tough for him to really give you a ceiling play. Yeah, I think we got to go Jordan Addison there. Another question here: Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray? Dak has been good. Dak has been so good, and the haters hate it. The Dak haters are hating this, but he's playing so good. So I think we got to go Dak. And I was worried about Dak a little bit last week because I thought that the Cowboys would get off to such a big lead early in that game, and they did. So I thought they would just be, second half of that game, they'd just be handing the ball off all game. But they kept throwing. I was wrong. They just kept throwing. And I would, if it wasn't for that, I would have the same concern about the game environment today. But I think we got to keep firing up Dak. As long as Dak is hot like this, we got to keep rolling. Keep him rolling. I do like Kyler a lot today, though, because I think that's going to be a great environment, great game environment for fantasy points for both teams. I think a lot of fantasy points are going to come from that Texans-Cardinals game today. But we can't take Dak at this point. Let's get this one. Devon Achane, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, sit 1. We're definitely playing Achane. Wheels up on him, which is great. Raiders at home. Let's play Achane. Absolutely. Saquon, he's a volume-based RB2 at this point, which sucks because that offense is so bad. Saquon's so good, but the offense is so bad. Definitely starting Jacobs. So it comes down to Saquon or Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones to an extent, but at this point, I think we have to go Saquon over Aaron Jones, just based on the pure volume. We know that Saquon's going to see 20-plus touches in that offense. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, and he doesn't give you the same ceiling that he would in a Daniel Jones offense. Just a competent NFL offense. This is like a high school offense with Tommy DeVito. They probably wouldn't be that much worse off with Danny DeVito, to be honest with you. But I mean, if you need to score a lot of points and you need a ceiling play, I think Jones is the guy. If you want to play it a little bit safer, just play based on pure volume. Saquon's the guy. Yeah, but great running back room. Definitely playing the other three for sure. All right, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're going to go rapid fire. If you have any more questions on YouTube, drop them in here quickly. Who are you starting? Let's see. Who are you starting Fields over? We're starting Fields over a lot of guys. I'm not going to list them all, but let me tell you where I have him ranked. Justin Fields, probably like a borderline QB1 where I have him ranked. We got him QB 14. I've got him over Sam Howell. I got him over Trevor Lawrence. I got him over Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, Jordan Love, Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, Will Levis. So yeah, I like Fields, as a high-end QB2 coming back today. Should be a good game environment for him to score a lot of points. DeAndre Swift or Devin Singletary. We're going to go DeAndre Swift. Herbert or Howell. Definitely going Justin Herbert. I'm definitely down on Sam Howell today. I think that game environment is not going to allow Sam Howell to throw the ball as much as he has in the past. It's just not going to necessitate him to throw the ball as much as he's been in most weeks because they're going against Tommy DeVito. The Giants can't get to 20 points. I don't even know what they can get to 10 points. So what is the incentive of Sam Howell to drop back 40 times and throw the ball a ton? It's just not going to be there. It's going to be a Brian Robinson game, though. If you have Brian Robinson, fire him up. Fire up Brian Robinson. I'm not even a Brian Robinson guy. But that game environment, matchup, no Antonio Gibson, wheels up for Brian Robinson. He's an RB1 today. Play him if you have him. Get this one on YouTube, Marquise Brown or Adam Thielen. We're going to go, man, I want to start all my Cardinals today. I want to start all the Cardinals. Yeah, it's hard to sit. It is hard to sit Adam Thielen. I do have him ranked higher, but if you want a higher ceiling play is Marquise Brown, which usually that's what I lean. Floor play is Adam Thielen. Take that for what it's worth. Evan Ingram or Jake Ferguson. We're going Evan Ingram. Dak or Fields. We're going to go Dak. As long as Dak is playing the way he's been playing, we got to play him. But we've reached 1 o'clock. It's time for kickoff. I'm going to turn on the red zone. I'm going to catch 7 hours of commercial-free football. Enjoy the day. I hope you all enjoy it as well. Good luck with your games today. We will be back next week. Thanks, guys.